Hey there, today we are talking healthy hair. We are talking about ways to maintain your hair moisture, preserve your hair styling with just the use of a silk hair bonnet. So welcome to my YouTube channel where I update you with a variety of content from DIYs, healthy tips, fitness tips, fashion inspiration, lifestyle hacks, fun vlogs, and a lot more. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this 2-in-1 reversible silk hair bonnet with a band. So we'll be needing 2 pieces of fabric, scissors, measuring tape, chalk, some pins, and an elastic band. This fabric I'm using is a leftover from a previous project and it measures about 35 inches by 31 inches. So after you've gathered your supplies and gotten your fabric ready, the first thing to do is to fold your fabric into this rectangular shape, just as we demonstrated in our previous video. So if you haven't watched my previous video where I demonstrated how to come out with this hair bonnet pattern, you should definitely go back and watch, as I will tag it in this video. If you still have challenges with drafting this pattern, let me know in the comment section. So we have a pattern that we have already drafted and cut, and we're just going to place on our next silk fabric and cut out. I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how to come out with this pattern, but for more details I will advise you to go back to the previous tutorial and watch. So for this hair bonnet I'm using a size 12.5, that's 12.5 inches. So once you've folded your silk fabric to have that rectangular nature, you just move your tape from the center point round it, marking 12.5 inches, and then you cut. That's all. Very easy. Once you've cut, now you have 2 pieces of fabric of the same dimension. The next thing to do is to put these cutout pieces together with good sides facing each other. Make sure the good sides are facing each other and then pin them down. Once you have pinned them together, go ahead and just fold this into 2 so that you have a midline. You want to give that a gentle press to maintain that midline. This step is very important. So once you have ironed it and you have that midline very prominent, you want to use a chalk and mark the midline on each side of the 2 fabrics, making it 4 marks in total. Then take your elastic band and do the same thing. For this hair bonnet I'm using poly. I had cut out 23 inches and stitched together to form this band. You can use any other elastic band of choice. So after folding this hairband into 2, I just marked the midpoint on one side. I marked just one end of my band because the other side is where I joined the fabrics, so it's easy for me to identify. But if you're using a band that is even all through, you should mark both ends. This is the most important step of this tutorial, and it simply involves us pinning together our band together with our hair bonnet pattern. So you're just going to go to all those areas where you marked and pin them together with where you marked the band. Follow closely my demonstration so you will notice that the band is in between the 2 fabrics. So we'll pin the first mark of the band to the marks on the hair bonnet pattern, and then we will look for the next midline which we marked and do the same thing. At this point you can go ahead and remove the pins to make your work easier. And here's a demonstration of what I just explained. So we have our second mark or midline of our hairband. We are attaching to the midline of our 2 bonnet patterns, making sure that the band is in the middle in between the 2 patterns. So now we have our elastic band attached together with our hair bonnet pattern at the ends where we marked. With the band in between, this kind of gives us 4 sections where we are going to be creating our pleats. So you're going to take 1/4 at a time, creating pleats for each section. You can start from either of the midpoints. Take note that we are creating these pleats on the fabric only while attaching it to our elastic band. At every point you want to adjust and make sure that the fabric is at the same level with the elastic band. Just keep following the demonstration and try to make sure your pattern for your pleats are even. It's absolutely okay if you don't get it right the first time. Do it again and again, and you'll definitely be perfect at it. Because of all hair bonnets that I have made, this is literally the easiest and it takes less time to produce. Sometimes you may get to the end of a particular section and realize that the fabric is still more than the space left, or it is smaller. All you need to do is just go back and adjust your patterns, whether increasing or reducing them, so that it fits that particular section or quota. And you will do just the same thing for all the 4 sections. And this is what it looks like once the 4 sections have all been pinned together with the elastic hairband. Now we are about to stitch. So the first thing to do before stitching is to identify the seam, which is simply the area where you stitched your elastic hairband together. And there we are going to place a mark, because we are going to leave one pleat open to facilitate turning our hair bonnet inside out. So we are going to begin stitching exactly where we placed the mark. So just go ahead and stitch this all round, not forgetting that we have to leave one pleat open to facilitate turning. Once we are getting to the end and identify the mark we already made, we're just going to go ahead and remove the pin from that mark, thereby leaving that pleat open. We are keeping one pleat open on just one side, therefore we have to close the other pleat on the other side, just as I am demonstrating in the video. So once that is done, the next thing we want to do is to turn our hair bonnet inside out, but we cannot do that when the pins are still in place. So we are going to remove all the pins. Once the pins are all removed, we go now to the pleat we left open and use that opening to turn our hair bonnet inside out. Wow, this hair bonnet is so beautiful, and these pleats make this hair bonnet look so aesthetically pleasing. And voila, our hair bonnet is ready, except for one last simple step, which is just to close that pleat we left open with a stitch. This hair bonnet is beautiful, it is super comfortable, it is everything. It's going to help you preserve your hair moisture, prevent split ends, hair loss because of its silk nature. You should definitely get a silk reversible hair bonnet with a band, or why not make one for yourself? Thank you for staying tuned so far. Do let me know in the comment section what you think about this tutorial. If you have any questions, I'll be very pleased to answer them. Please do give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye, and see you in the next one.